Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news. If you have a news topic or story you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119. Today's show runs Tuesday at noon and is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Friday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is November 14th, 2017, and now the news at noon. Reported in the Durango Herald, the draining of a massive aquifer that underlies portions of 8 states in the central U.S. is drying up streams, causing fish to disappear and threatening the livelihood of farmers who rely on it for their crops. Water levels in the Ogallala aquifer have been dropping for decades as irrigators pump water faster than rainfall can recharge it. An analysis of federal data found the Ogallala aquifer shrank twice as fast over the past 6 years compared with the previous 60, the Denver Post reported. The drawdown has become so severe that streams are drying at a rate of 6 miles per year, and some highly resilient fish are disappearing. In rural areas, farmers and ranchers worry they will no longer have enough water for their livestock and crops as the aquifer is depleted. The aquifer lost 10.7 million acre-feet of storage between 2013 and 2015, the U.S. Geological Survey said in a June report. Also known as the High Plains Aquifer, the Ogallala underlies 175,000 square miles, including parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, Nebraska, New Mexico, Oklahoma, South Dakota, and Texas. That's one of the primary agricultural regions of the U.S., producing $35 billion in crops annually. Farmers and ranchers have been tapping into the aquifer since the 1930s to boost production and help them get by in terms of drought. However, overpumping has dried up 358 miles of surface rivers and streams across a 200-mile square mile area covering eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and Nebraska. That according to researchers from Colorado State University and Kansas State University. If farmers keep pumping water at the current pace, another 177 miles of rivers and streams will be lost before 2060, the researchers determined. We have almost completely changed the species of fish that can survive in those streams compared with what was there historically. This is really a catastrophic change, said Kansas State University conservation biologist Keith Guido, one of the authors of a report on the aquifer published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. According to activist Guido, if all pumping stopped immediately, it would still take hundreds of years for rain-fed streams and rivers to recharge the aquifer. Reported in the Journal, a story out of Glenwood Springs. A man accused of leading a major illegal marijuana grow in western Colorado has been arrested in connection with another grow nearby. The Glenwood Springs Post-Independent reports that about 2,420 marijuana plants were found last year at Huang Yu Wang's property near Rifle, prompting an investigation by the Federal Drug Enforcement Administration. Investigators found that Wang also owned property south of Newcastle, where federal and local authorities say they found about 250 pounds of recently harvested marijuana. Wang was arrested November 2nd on suspicion of violating state law at the property near Newcastle. Garfield County Sheriff Lou Valario says he isn't facing any state charges in the Rifle case, which is being handled by the DEA. Wang is being held in jail. No attorney is listed for him in court records. The Journal also reported that Cortez weather watcher Jim Andrus reported Monday that southwest Colorado could be in for a drier than average winter due to a developing La Nina weather pattern. The National Weather Service has reported that a weak La Nina weather pattern is forming, characterized by cooler than average temperatures in the equatorial Pacific. The phenomenon tends to generate more snow in the Pacific Northwest and drier conditions in the Southwest. It is the opposite of El Nino, where Pacific Ocean warming typically generates more storms across the Southwest. It could be a warm, dry winter, he said. According to the U.S. Drought Monitor, western Colorado is in the abnormally dry category. Southeast Utah and northeast Arizona are slipping into the moderate drought category. The warmer and drier weather patterns of La Nina appears to be emerging locally. October precipitation in Cortez was 0.5 inches, or 4% of the normal 1 inch and 1.30 inches. Recent November temperatures in the 60s are about 10 degrees above normal, and the forecast is warm and dry for the next 2 weeks, as we'll see in the weather forecast segment. As of November 3rd, SnowTels measuring mountain snowpack are showing 38% of normal for the combined San Miguel, Dolores, San Juan, and Animas basins. Statewide, snowpack is at 59% of normal. And now, let's get right to our weather forecast. The national forecast from the National Weather Service shows once again that high pressure just hanging out over most of the southwest and also now drying out the eastern third of the country. While rains and storms are possible through the central plains to the Midwest, you can also see the continuing rain-snow pattern moving slowly across the Pacific Northwest region. But the high pressure off into the Pacific may indicate additional dry weather down the road. Regionally today, a portion of the polar front jet will move in from the northwest and move across northern portions of the region. We'll see some broken to overcast skies north of I-70 and partly sunny to sunny skies in the south. A few models were indicating the chance for a few showers and sprinkles along our northern border and mountains, but as the atmosphere remains very dry, we won't anticipate any precipitation actually hitting the ground. Winds will be a bit more gusty today thanks to the jet stream overhead. As has been the case over the last few days, temperatures will continue to run warm. For Wednesday, no new disturbances, just a few high wispy clouds to move over the area. This will be the calm before the storm as the next system starts to come ashore along the west coast. Big changes are coming in terms of precipitation and temperatures from Thursday into the weekend in the region, while Dove Creek isn't expecting the actual rain with the system. A pattern change will be arriving late Wednesday night and Thursday as a Pacific system pushes across the Great Basin. This will bring a period of unsettled weather to much of eastern Utah and western Colorado beginning midday Thursday and persisting through midday Friday. This system may be packing a decent amount of moisture favorable of accumulating mountain and potentially high valley snowfall. Heaviest precipitation should be in place Thursday night and Friday morning, with potential travel impacts over most of our passes in western Colorado. This system won't be sticking around long as it exits the area by Friday afternoon. High pressure builds back in over the weekend with dry but cooler weather expected. So locally, our DCTV News 5-day outlook is as follows. Today, mostly sunny through the atmosphere, though the atmosphere is certainly filled with persistent trailings, making for some haziness. The National Weather Service is estimating a high near 58 degrees, with southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming west in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 35, north winds around 5 miles an hour becoming east after midnight. Wednesday, again mostly sunny with a high near 60, east-southeast winds 5 to 15 becoming south-southwest in the afternoon. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 35, south-southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday, partly sunny with a high near 60, south-southwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts as high as 30 miles an hour. And Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 38. Now, predictions for Friday show that quick cooling off, mostly sunny with a high just near 52, but the chance of precipitation has left the forecast for us now, and Friday night it will be mostly clear with a low around 24. Saturday, sunny with a high near 50, Saturday night mostly clear with a low around 27. These temperatures are more aligned with average mid-November temps, with once again Sunday being sunny, but with a high just near 54, and Sunday night partly cloudy with a low around 31. And now, back to the news. Reported from the Journal out of Mancos. On November 2nd, the Mancos Public Library announced it had closed on a refinancing of 2 loans that helped pay for the current building's construction. The library originally took out the loans in 2007 and 2009 at interest rates of 5.4% and 6.25% respectively. Paid for with Library District tax bonds, they funded the building now located at 211 East 1st Street in Mancos. Library Executive Director Lee Halberg said the refinancing will result in lower annual payments for the library. We're trying to be more mindful of how we use taxpayers' money, he said. The new lease purchase loan is for $1.24 million at a fixed interest rate of 3.08%. Taxpayers will not see immediate results from the lower interest rate, Halberg said, but he estimated the lower interest rate would save the district more than $225,000 over the remaining 26 years before the loan is paid off. In a press release last week, he said the lower payments will free up funds for more library programs. The loan is also structured to allow the library to pay off its debts a year earlier than originally planned, with the option to prepay even sooner without a penalty if the money becomes available. Halberg said this year was the library's first opportunity to refinance its loans at a lower interest rate. Gaining those lower payments is one of several goals in the library's long-range plan that has been accomplished recently, he said, along with the passage of a mill levy in the 2016 election. If it's a win-win for both the library and the taxpayers in the district, he said in the release. He thanked investment banking firm George K. Baum and Company for guiding library staff through the loan and refinancing process. from the Cortez Journal out of Flagstaff, Arizona. A small northern Arizona tribe has chosen new leadership as it faces the loss of coal royalties that make up a huge chunk of its budget. Tim Nuvangioma won the Hopi chairman's post with 969 votes, beating out David Norton Talayumpatewa by more than 325 votes, according to unofficial results. Nuvangioma's uncle by clan and former colleague at the Hopi radio station, Clark Tenakongav, will join him in the administration as vice chairman. The two will lead amid economic uncertainty, with the expected closure of a coal mine in 2019 that feeds a power plant near Page on the neighboring Navajo Nation. Royalties from coal extracted at the Kayenta mine make up 85% of the Hopi budget, and the reservation's isolation makes economic development difficult. Nuvangioma said Friday that he will seek input from Hopis on potential solutions. "It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm prepared for the challenge," he said. "I'm open to building relationships with the council, and I definitely want to start building relationships with the departments and really look at the whole picture." The current tribal chairman and vice chairman had sought the top elected post, but didn't advance beyond the primaries. Talayumpatewa and Tenakongava's challenger, Lamar Kiivama, will remain on the tribal council. Tenakongva, a singer and recording artist who worked with veterans after serving in the U.S. Army, ran unsuccessfully for tribal chairman in 2009. He has said he would work on education issues and developing renewable resources. The chairman and vice chairman get much of their authority from the tribal council, which functions like a city government. The chairman presides over meetings but doesn't vote except to break a tie. Turnout for the election was low, with 1,622 votes cast among more than 11,000 eligible voters. And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of November 6th through the 12th. A report was made from a local resident requesting assistance getting a vehicle returned that was lent out. Since the incident occurred in San Juan County, New Mexico, the deputy assisted officers from that jurisdiction with information and support, and the vehicle was recovered. Several reports of haze and smoke smell came in from Groundhog and Rico and the surrounding areas. It was learned that fires in Arizona were responsible for the haze and that we had no local burns. A county resident reported a suspicious vehicle parked along a county road. Officers investigated and found that the vehicle was parked there by a person who just purchased property adjacent to where they parked. A county resident reported a lame deer having a difficult time moving needed to be put down. The Division of Wildlife was contacted but unable to respond right away. An officer responded and was able to assess the condition of the animal. The deer was extremely emaciated and had a broken leg. The DOW decided to authorize the officer to put down the animal and offer it to a member of the roadkill list. After review of the wound and learning of infection, the member of the roadkill list was unable to utilize the meat. Several 911 calls in town coming from deactivated cell phones. It was later determined that juveniles were playing with phones. Though the phones had no service, almost all cell phones carry the safety feature to allow 911 calls, even without a SIM card. Please be mindful that deactivated cell phones in the wrong hands can initiate emergency services to your home, and that misusing 911 services is a heavy strain on resources intended to aid those in crisis. A county resident reported 2 lost horses north of Dove Creek. Both horses are brown in color and one is pregnant. Please call the sheriff's office with any information. And a county resident reported a dead deer on Highway 491 in Cajon. CDOT was notified and will move the carcass on their next business day. And that concludes this week's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. Friday, November 17th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Sunflower Theater at KSJD in Cortez. It will be comedy night. $12 online and $15 at the door to see Rusty Rutherford's Twisted Comedy, which is said has more energy than a high school cheer squad. That's according to Montreal Fringe Festival. He was named the 2016 Best Comedian at Albuquerque Alibi, and you may recognize a little of your own insanity in Rusty's odd but relatable look at society around him, while becoming sucked into the fun he is having on stage. And then also at the Sunflower Theater, Harless Sweetwater Band featuring Hurricane Jake's one-man band will perform Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:15. Again, it's $15 online this time and $18 at the door. And don't forget the Teen Maze, hosted by the School Community Youth Collaborative, running November 15th and 16th at 10 West Main Street in Cortez. Teen Maze is an interactive health fair that covers topics important to developing youth in our community. The youth are able to partake in activities that show what it is like to be a parent, go to court, be sent to jail, and drive while drunk, in quotes. The youth exit the maze through a debriefing room meant to help them process their experience students and give them a positive outlook for their futures. For more info, check out their Facebook page. And all of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV News at Noon. Please like us on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon, and catch any of the broadcasts Monday through Wednesday at noon, 3, and 6, and then rebroadcast again on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6. From Dove Creek, Colorado, I'm Kendra Cook. See you around the campus.